let's say we have damage in the game. Okay, that's very simple. Let's say we have 100 damage. Okay, and then we have armor. That's actually a V, not an A. It is. MS Paint is the gameplay. So let's say we have armor of 10. Okay, we're gonna make multiple examples. So let's say we have that, right? I think I should have done this a little bit better, but we can always rearrange that. So let's say damage is 100, armor is 10. Or let's call this, instead of damage, that would be the final damage that we do. Okay. We have right here, we call that, I don't know, attack. Okay, so we have attack, armor, and the final damage. So what I could do here to calculate, it could be a simple minus. Okay, so that would be option 1, where we do 100 and we do minus 10. That would result in 90. Then that's a flat reduction. Okay, that's option 1. Option 2 could be 100 times 0.1. So that's essentially the 10%. And this is multiplication here, okay? Let me make sure that you see that this is multiplied. Which would result in 10. And therefore 100 minus 10. So that would be 10. And that would follow that we have 100 minus 10. Is my head in the way? And that would mean we have 92. But you can see how armor scales very effectively with this. Okay, so I cannot give too many armor points. We have a third option. Okay, so there's more. Let's add a third option here. And so what I would like to do is have flat, but more than that. So how do I explain this? You know, MS Paint has a text tool. Yeah, but I like this more than the text tool. Because I don't like switching the size of the text all the time. And if you wrote text once, yeah. I'm off, pick some raspberries to cook them. See you later. See you later, little boy, my man. So I don't like this flat reduction, nor do I like this percentage reduction. Okay, so number 1 is flat, number 2 is percentage. I would like to have flat reduction, but not so much. So maybe you want armor that scales non-linearly. Yeah, I want armor to scale. So essentially armor should scale not as powerful, but flat reduction with cap. Or maybe I should keep flat reduction and keep it simple. It's a tower defense game, guys. It's not an RPG game. You probably want armor to be less effective the more you have it. Yeah, but then still, if the incoming attack deals 100 damage and we have 10 armor, then the result is 90. Whether that be percentage or flat. But flat gets worse. I guess flat reduction seems too simple. You want it more interesting? Yeah, so essentially I want to have a certain stat, another stat, to make this more interesting, which is penetration. Pen. So let's say we have armor penetration of 10. Then that would cancel each other out in this case, which would result in 0 armor. And therefore I still deal 100 damage. But the same way, so what I don't like about this is this. I'll explain this. I think now I have this. Let me build this again and then we make this a bit smaller. We have armor. Actually, we have attack. We have attack. Then we have armor. And we have penetration. And then all those together result in the final damage. So let's say we have an attack that deals 100. Our armor is 50. Our penetration is 10. That would result in 60 damage. Okay, because that's minus slash, that would mean 40. And we remove 40. Okay? So now let's make the same. Let's do the same but with 110 attack. 50 armor but no penetration. We would still deal 60 damage. This is my issue. Getting more attack is the same, is as effective as penetration. In my opinion, penetration on very high armor targets should be more rewarding. Maybe I want percentage penetration. Then flat increases. You will have weapons with traits on weapons like armor piercing, blunt. Yes, I do. I only have one weapon right now that just gives me physical damage or damage. But I can unlock another weapon in a second that gives me armor penetration. I think it depends on how high the numbers will go. If we're talking about 1000 attack and 500 defense on endgame, percentage would be better. If not, then flat would be. What about Kingdom Rush style with the non-low, medium, high? No, I have specific values. That's already built in the game. That is the system I will go with. Making it simpler just doesn't work at this point anymore. It's too far gone already. I have so many different stats in the game that this wouldn't work. So I think I want percentage penetration. So let's do the same thing, but if penetration right now is percentage. Let's basically add another row here. If we have the same thing, but in this case, penetration is percent. Then minus 10%. 10% out of 50 is 5. And so then the resulting damage would actually be worse. I remove 5% armor. Damage is minus armor times penetration divided by 100, yeah. For this, it may be useful to look at an Excel spreadsheet. Sorry if chat already said this. No, they didn't. That's a good idea. So penetration gets more valuable with higher armor values. Percentage penetration is good. Because essentially the reason why I didn't like this, you guys know that essentially attack is the same as penetration all the time. So whether I go for penetration or increase my attack, it's essentially the same, the same stat. But percentage penetration is weak early but strong later. The higher armor, the higher the target is with armor, the more penetration is good. And therefore I can have two types of builds essentially to go for. I can go for the builds where I do a lot of physical damage, and then against low armor targets I'll deal a lot of damage. But then I have the armor penetration build that is very strong against armored units and not as strong as low armored units. And so both would work. And so these would be two different use cases. And then I create these two different ones. Yeah. So like, when would penetration be better than flat? At 20%, at least in this case. A flat value for penetration is crazy. Do you have magic armor? I do, yeah. What happens if your penetration is higher than the armor value? It cannot be. In this case, it's clamped to 0 if it's an absolute value. If it's a percentage value, there's no armor, 0 armor. Pen has a penetration cap. Yeah. Guys, I need to go to the bathroom really quickly, okay? 1 second. Let me start the next round. What do we get the mage now? Yeah, next round. This is when I introduce the skeleton. And therefore this weapon that gives me 10% more damage works against the skeleton. But the skeleton have very high armor. Just take a look. The first unit is not going to deal any damage against the skeleton. This guy is, because he has more physical damage. But I want it to be armor penetration, not damage. Hero rewards. Okay, hero rewards. There you go. Unlock hero in certain rounds. Remove already unlocked heroes. There you go. Okay. Hero data. Overlays, draw the text, Tangy selection, choose hero to unlock. Choice. If it is the choice, then I want to draw the text and I want to draw the wrapping size is world size .x minus 50. What do you think about Godot? I think Godot is nice. The only thing I don't like about Godot is the UI. Dev Sorcerer. My gang gets called a clone all the time too. What game are you making? Neat games. Alright, let's see. How does this look? Great. That wrapping size totally worked. Not. Oh wait, that's the name. Whoops. Supposed to be here. Yeah, there we go. So the reason why I did this right now, I wanted to have the text be displayed. Let's say 80. Totally worked. No, I was using the wrong. Alright, so specializes in ranged combat using fire spells that deal magic damage, which ignores armor. Do I need to do a comma or not after magic damage? Is it proper? You guys can't see this, of course. Let me turn off the camera. Guys, tell me if after magic damage do I need a comma or not. I'm not natively English, okay? Please help. 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 Guys, help. No. No. No comma. No. Okay. So if people tell me that my game's spelling is wrong, then it's your guys' fault. Don't worry about grammar too much. Listen, that's important. Have you guys ever written a letter? Like, it comes off as unprofessional. Guys, we are professional game developer, okay? Maybe the skeletons want that fresh orange skin. It gets punnet. It gets in the punnet. It gets in the punnet. It gets in the punnet. He posted a video in hashtag showcase about it. About what? What do you think about Godot? I posted a video in showcase about it. If you use the question words like what, when, which to describe something and not ask question, you just put it in here without commas. Do you like Terraria? I never played Terraria, but I think I would like it, yes. The only issue I have with Terraria is that it would take me too much time to play the game, man. But in the future, you know, whenever I can be a full-time game developer and streamer, then we will definitely play Terraria. You guys can be ready for some nice Terraria action then. Okay. Currently, I try to fit in games here and there. But there will be times, you know, when we play Terraria. Of course, there's many other games I want to play too. Speaking of armor. Will this game be only hero towers? I'm thinking about it, but I don't know yet. He put it in showcase. Shit, I can't look at showcase yet. I still need to do the Discord showcase. Guys, next week we're gonna look at showcase. Then we can also take a look at this game. Next week. So if you wanna show off your game and showcase, it's gonna be a YouTube video if you want that. Feel free to post your game stuff there. I haven't taken a look at showcase for a long time. Show briefcase. Maybe there are more fruit islands and he already slain the bananas and berries and then the huge blender on his ship. The tangerines are next, but they're taking the fight to him. So you would be like the ultimate... That would be so funny. The ultimate story is like there's a guy on a ship that is blending together different different fruits, and he already has bananas, strawberries, and whatever, and he still needs the tangerines. And so the ultimate last fight for my game would be fighting in a tower defense mission on a ship where you have to beat this guy, and the blender is actually a boss too. So the blender is a boss, and if the boss gets close to one of the tangerines, it picks it up, tosses it inside, and then blends it into a million bloody pieces. So it's like instant death. What? Yeah, hey devspargos, good morning. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome everyone. We are just streaming right now. We're working on gameplay. And we were talking about armor penetration earlier. We're currently like trying to stagger gameplay mechanics. And we started off with armor penetration. So essentially the first mechanic that I introduce in my game, for those of you who don't know, I'm making a tower defense game and I'm heavily inspired by bloons. And in bloons, you have different types of bloons that react differently to attacks. So for example, there's plated bloons, lead bloons, that cannot be popped by normal darts. So you need to have stronger weapons to pop those lead bloons. You also have invisible bloons, I think they are called camos, camouflage. And that cannot be seen, aka attacked, by normal bloons, by normal monkeys, normal attacks. So you need to invest points or money into vision against those. And so being heavily inspired by this, the first mechanic that I would like to introduce in my game is armor. And we talked about different ways of negating armor by having more attack. What armor could do, whether that be percentage reduction or a flat reduction. I think flat reduction is cooler because percentage reduction limits you. I think percentage reduction is bad because then it's too easy to get armor and be 100% immune. And if you have flat reduction, then armor penetration being flat too makes it useless because then you can just get more attack. It's the same thing. And so very high armor targets with flat penetration make no sense because you would need a lot of flat penetration. You need like 1,000 flat penetration on items, which I think is bad. So I think we are going to go the penetration percentage route and then give the first weapon that we unlock a 10% penetration. Do dice based, you gain sides and have... So like the issue is the following, guys. Let me show you. I'll show you the issue and then you will understand. Okay? This is the type of gameplay stuff that I would like to fix today because it's cool. I think this is the... Yeah. Okay. Let's play really quickly. The end game that you said reminds me of this. No, demonetization. Okay. What the fuck is this? And where do you guys get this stuff from? What the fuck? Huh? Alright, so we just skilled this. We need to put a save point here because I think in this round we get our first items. Cakez as a trailer, nice. That's not a trailer. Absolutely not. What lots of games do is they also do damage to the armor and hits. So a small percentage of HP, depending on the penetration, and some percentage of damage to armor, so the armor can be destroyed. So it's like a lasting debuff. I think penetration, yeah, but I think that would be more... I don't think that's... I think it's too much, essentially, because I would need to display this debuff on the enemy, and I would need to show a stack count on the enemy somehow. And I think this only really works in an RPG game. I said thank you very much for raiding, Push. Did you shout him out? I was expecting someone of you guys to shout him out. Yes, you did. Thank you so much, Push. I did, yeah, thank you, man. No, I appreciate the support. I really do. Thank you again very much. Like, if that didn't come across, yes. Alternate story, Fanta ran out of tangerines. They want more Fanta. Can you feed this to AI to recreate with your art style? Anyways, guys, so maybe you could. Do we have this already? Yes, we do. Shield orbs. Now, in this level, we get a weapon. Let's see. So, but we need to specify the data here correctly now. I'll show you what the issue is, okay? I'll show you the exact data that we have. It's currently balanced to only allow physical damage increase. So I'll show you. Let's kill this. Alright, so now if I click on this, I get a certain weapon. but we want a different one. Scripting event unlock item. We put the possible item to the wooden sword. I want to use the item rusty sword. The rusty sword, mark this as A. Let's make this a little bit smaller. The rusty sword. Over here, you can see that we have armor pierce, a base value of 10. That is a flat value, which we discussed earlier is bad. Okay, but I can change that armor pierce base and basically turn 10 to 10%. So let's mark this as B and then go over to attack. Boom. Then go to physical damage. Get mitigated damage. Yeah. Impact. Physical damage. There we go. So physical damage. We have physical damage minus armor. So we have armor pierce right here. And we need to generate new armor based on armor pierce. Okay, so now let's say armor pierce. We have float armor pierce. Percent is armor pierce divided by 100. Okay, now we have percentage. And then obviously we need to clamp this between 0 and 100, of course. No, 0 and 1. Okay. Now we have armor pierce percent. And then instead of doing the maximum here, we can do armor times equals armor pierce percent. Okay. Now we have just turned this into a percentage factor. And I would like to display this in text too. Armor pierce. Here right now we have... Oh, we actually have armor pierce... Wait. Armor pierce base. Armor pierce hit. Armor pierce hit. Eh? Not sure what this was, but okay. This is going to be percentage. And then I think I want to keep this off. Like this. Alright, so now when we pick this up, we will see an armor pierce percentage of 10%. Rusty sword armor pierce 10%. Okay? Now we have 10% armor pierce if we get this weapon. And now we can talk about numbers, okay? Let me show you. Let me first show you what it looks like, okay? YouTube video had crazy 10 plus comments fight about Rust. Really? Cakez, you found this? Really? My YouTube video had a crazy... I found that it's awesome. Okay, so now. Remember, 10% armor pierce. I'll play out the level and you will see how much damage this guy deals compared to the other guy. Okay, so this guy right here has 10 physical damage more and 10% armor pierce. Okay. See, he does 40 damage. I'm an idiot. That's fine. It needs to be this. He did 50. Yeah, because armor pierce was 0%. He does 5 damage. It's difficult to tell. He does... Fuck. Let's do this again. Normal in Germany. Yep, true. Come on. Move. Move. Rust fanatics made me hate Rust. Hey, move! Play the round! What are you doing? Are you stupid? Put it in the React suggestion on Discord, will probably be fun to react to. Hey, hello. Dude, what is your issue? Play the fucking game. The Quantum Blaze, thank you very much for subscribing, man. Hello. Bro. Hello. Why is there no enemy spawning? Fuck, man. Do it again. That could be an undefined behavior. No, it has to do with game time, unfortunately. The reason why this happens is because of game time. Fuckman is better than Pac-Man. True. Some dumbass said this that Rust is 10 times more complex in the comments. Ooh, you guys getting triggered. Guys, you should learn something, okay? You will never be able to change someone else's opinion on the internet, okay? But, you know, if you have some time and popcorn, why not, you know? Just don't get too hung up on it, okay? Ah, Nathan Coates, long time no see, bro. How's it going? Cat arrive? Good morning. Good morning, sir. Alright, so weapon on its way. Cakes, can I change, please? Cakes, I can change people's opinion. You can't change my mind on that. Match, that's a good one, Aizen. Actually good, yeah. Alright, so we get that weapon, okay? Boom. Now, there we go. He does 10% physical damage more, which means he does 50 damage to targets that have no armor, okay? He gets 10% physical damage and he gets 10% armor. No, he gets 10 physical damage and 10% armor penetration. Now we can do the math here. Alright. Take a look. 5 damage. 18 damage. He does 18 damage. Okay. Now let's talk about real values. Mark this here. The skeleton has 35 armor. Okay. This is a very specific number. All right. Why? Well, because the base value of my defender, the base attack, is 40. Okay. So I deal 40 damage every hit, and 35 just happens to be high enough so that I deal basically no damage to them if I don't have any increase to damage. But low enough so that any increase in damage will make them take damage. But, so, like, okay, so we have these values here, alright? Let's get rid of this. And now we can take different looks here. Let's do the penetration percent as well. Yeah. So let's say we have an attack of 40. Now the enemy has 0 armor and we have 0 penetration. That would result in 40 damage. Now we still have 40 damage here. Now the enemy has 35 armor. 0 penetration. Then we deal 5 damage. Now let's say we have 60 attack. We have 35 armor. 0 penetration. That would mean we have, what is this? 25 damage? Is this 25? 25, but yeah. We deal 25 damage. Okay. Now we have an issue here. I think I get 50 attack from the weapon. So essentially, why is this an issue? Why do I not like this? This is essentially a non-counter to armor. Just more damage. And that is the wooden sword. Wooden sword gives me these stats. 60 attack. Now, the rusty sword gives me 50 attack. Still 35 armor. Penetration of 10%. And now what we get here is essentially 35 armor gets turned into 31.5. Which results in like, yeah, 17. Something. Or was it 18? Sorry, was it 18? 18. Yeah, not 17. Can't do math. It's 18. You see how the wooden sword, which is designed to just deal more damage, is worse than the rusty sword, which is designed to fight armored enemies. And the reason why it's so bad is because the armor penetration percentage is just not as strong on low percentage values as it is, or on low armor values as it is on high armor values. So this low armor value of 35 makes the wooden sword better than the rusty sword. Okay, and why am I going into detail about this so much? Because I want to teach the player the gameplay mechanic of armor and armor penetration. Bro, the rusty sword is much worse than the normal sword. If you get an even smaller scratch from it, you get tetanus. True. True. Guys, are you listening? Chat, are you listening? Hello. Good morning. Are you guys listening? No? Interesting. Okay. So what do we do about this? I can increase the armor value here. I can make this bigger. I increase this. But then this will also be lower, the number here. Let's test this. Let's turn armor on the thing here to 50. 50 damage. So the damage numbers shown on screen mean what? The damage numbers shown on screen show the difference between attack and penetration. Start with collecting values into CSV and analyze it like a normal person. Yeah, we could do that actually. We could do this. So now we deal 5 damage only. How? That makes no sense. Shouldn't we deal more? He does 1 damage. He does 5. Goodness. That's bad. 1 damage. Okay, fine. Let's create an Excel sheet. I have LibreOffice Calc. Is that a good thing to do? Can I use this? Is that good? So what do we have? We have attack. And we have... Oh god, why is it so laggy? What the fuck is this? This is a fucking text editor! How can you be laggy? It's a text editor! Fuck! Sorry, I just hate this. Okay. I've been dealing with DaVinci Resolve lagging all the time, man. I'm done! Alright, so. We have attack. 40. Then we have armor. 35. We have penetration. 0. And damage is equal to this minus this times 1 minus this divided by 100. 5. Okay. All right. Okay, so I mean, let's make some examples. 50, armor 50, and penetration 10. We have 5. Yeah. So what if we have 20% penetration? We already deal 10 damage. What's your stuff on YouTube? Enjoying the content? Hey man, Quantum Blaze, thank you. You subscribed earlier as well. Thank you very much, man. That's awesome to hear, man. Cool. How did you, may I ask a question, Quantum Blaze? How did you find me? Or like which video did you watch? Did you get into watching? Would like to know how you found me. It's always good to have like a reference for which videos bring people in. Right, formula to increment by 10. Now I want to test out different values by hand. Let's say we have 60 here. Then we have an armor value of 35. Also, I want these, all of these to be 35. Okay, so we have all of these 35. Then we have 0 penetration here everywhere. So, wait. Here, wait, 40. Alright. So, by far the best one right now. Okay, wait, these are 50. Minus 10. Yeah, I mean, it would be, yeah, minus 10, fine. So 50 armor on 40 and 0 penetration would be 1. Can I like turn this into... Can I do like a min of 1 and this? No, the maximum. Ooh. Okay, thank you. Yeah, that's what I wanted. So essentially, that's what I do. I deal 1 minimum physical damage. Always. I think the first one I've seen was through you trying Zig with Raylip or something like that. I enjoyed it a lot and I've been watching his other videos. Cakez, did you notice any burp after Zorin? Any bump after Zorin called out your channel? You know when you stole his thumbnail? Nails? That's your first message after being banned? Really? That's actually your first message, man? So you're saying that Zorin calling out my channel is the reason why I get more viewers now? Nails, okay. You can make a graph and plot values to actually see the dynamics. Yeah, we could even make a graph, true. Cakez, your first place in Twitch category. Oh, I am? That's awesome. That's cool. So, you see what my issue is now. I essentially have a sword So I'll give names to these values, okay? And by the way, why do you scroll, you dumbass? I told you not to scroll. A weapon, right? The weapon that we have in question here, that is no, none. Over here we have rusty sword. Then over here we have wooden sword. And the other ones we have not done yet. Zig part 2 when... no, man. Just... Not every message is toxic. 99 and 100 are, to be fair. Yeah. Primogen didn't want to be near Cakez and give him 1 second spot in the category. Makes sense. No, I think the Primogen, what he's trying... Is he online right now? I think what he's trying is to try what Pirate Software did a long time ago. You guys might not have known this. But Pirate Software and now Primogen, they try to go into the just chatting category because the throughput of viewers in that category is much higher. You are more likely to have more views on your VODs. So this category here is kind of a niche category. And if you're already at the top of this category, which is good, it's called the Kingmaker system. But there is not as many viewers that are joining this category. Let's say during this particular time, it's actually starting to ramp now. It's getting higher, but there's also other people being online right now. Then in just chatting. In just chatting, there's a bunch more views that you can get on your stream and therefore meet potentially more viewers. And so have like how do you call that? It's essentially you can get more views in other categories because they're bigger, essentially. Like as simple as it is. I don't like this, guys. So the wooden sword is the same as the rusty sword. This sucks. I hate it. So like I would need to increase the armor to like 80 or something for it to make sense. And then like Nah, Studio 1. 2. I did 2 damage. Come on. Fuck. That's not enough. But I hate penetration percentage. It sucks, man. But it's okay to have this way of damage. You will need to think which weapon works better in what time of gameplay. I love penetration. So like penetration will get better at these low values. So let's say, okay guys, let's say we have 1,000 armor. Okay, we are huge cock. Okay, then and let's stop it. Then like an attack of 1,000. Can I like paste this or something? Copy and then you see the values already. You see this shifting, how this does 200 damage now? And then we could say 40. 400 damage. And then an increase in 20% of penetration if we do 1,000. Yeah. What about 100? I don't know. Percent penetration is fine. You need enemy designs that allows for the player to use it. Yeah. Can't you make it like in LoL? How does it work in LoL? I think armor is... There's like a calculation where, let's say, armor 1,000 multiplied by some value that is... The further it grows, the lower it gets, right? So let's say 1,000 would be 70% reduction, right? Reduction. And so then 2,000 would be a 75%. It's called diminishing return. Diminishing returns. Base damage taken is 100 divided by 100 plus armor. Half armor per percentage damage reduction rather than flat. We tried that, but then we need diminishing returns based on how much armor affects that. But then even like a 20% armor damage reduction, let's say 20% from 2000 is 400. But the reduction is still very high. So I suppose the 70%, then the penetration would take the 70% into account and reduce that 70% by 40%. If that makes sense. So let's say 70% is reduced. No, actually I don't like that, man. Fuck. Uses a system of the more damage you deal, the more armor you need. Yeah, that's the same way in Path of Exile too. Yeah, no, that's from Path of Exile, yeah. For someone who doesn't have a time to watch full live streams to learn, wonder, do you plan to create a short tutorial like your short Celeste Clone series? Literally just found your channel. Did you have a software dev background before getting into game dev? Not really. I did web development, yes. Yeah. They didn't want to keep him. He also claims to have a computer science degree, but we have our doubts, and he never provided any proof. I will not make a short tutorial on how to make a Celeste clone or like a game in C++, but I will make, in the future when I released my game, I will make a uncut tutorial. I target about 4 to 5 hours to speed run a game being made in C++ using everything I learned to make a game in C++ and sell it on Steam. But I can only do that when I have finally released my game. And the game is somewhat successful. There's no point in making a tutorial for something when you don't know whether what you have technically created actually works or not. So it needs to work with a decent player base to withstand issues. The game releases in 10 years. That's not true, man. It is not. Okay? And you're negative. Okay? You gotta be careful. Timeout, yeah. He's close. That's the first one. It was his first one. Or it's not fair like that. Or because you got timed out. How do players play the demo with no tutorial? The tutorial will come later, bro. Fuck, man. Let's go back. I need to, like, we need to manage these values here. So we had 50 armor, right? Both of them would deal 10 damage, which is more than one. But I feel like it's not enough. What if I buff the Rusty Sword to 60 damage? Then we deal 20 damage. So why do I say this? Okay, why do I say this? Why can we do this? Well, because the Rusty Sword... Good. The Rusty Sword is always compared to... Let's put them side by side. Wooden Sword, there we go. So Rusty Sword against the Wooden Sword, that's what we compare. The Rusty Sword has a physical damage base of 10. It gives me 10 armor pierce percentage wise. And then the Wooden Sword, which is its direct competitor, gives 20 physical damage. So it's like a flat physical damage increase. But also 10% attack speed. So if I give this Rusty Sword 20 physical damage, I effectively give the same amount of physical damage, but the secondary stat that is interesting is different. Let's see. Wait, we have 10% penetration. Well, that's 15. 5% penetration, 0% penetration is 10. So we would need Like 10% penetration at least. At a constant pen multiplayer, I feel like max pen could be 10 or 20 instead of 100. It's Germany. You dev sorcerer, what did you ask? Are you from? Where are you from? Oh, I'm from Germany. I just asked about the island art. Yeah, but you were insinuating that I was copying it, okay? Yeah. I feel like it's too high, the physical damage, but maybe I'm just coping. I think I'm doing too much. Like Ramis would be angry. But let's turn this base to 20, okay? We now have 20 physical damage. Let's see. 1 damage, 15. Yeah, I mean 15 damage. Can we beat them? Uh-oh. I guess I can't. Uh-oh. How much damage does this do? That does 1 damage. It's too low physical damage. We can't beat the skeletons. Okay, we have to play again. Do this again. You did copy it? That ninja game? I don't know what you're talking about, bro. What you mean, that ninja game? Never heard about this. Are you hot reloading the item data? Yeah, it's called hot code reloading. I'll go dig up the info. Thanks for the lead, Genussnymphikus. You shouldn't do that, okay? Okay, skill point. Guys, I think we have an issue. I might have to buff the sword even more. Or reduce the armor. Fuck, man. I think 50 armor is too much. What about 40? Oh, man. I mean, we still deal more damage with the rusty sword and 10% penetration. I think we need to turn this to 40. 40 armor. The ninja game with fruits, what it's called. I don't know what you're talking about. Not sure what you're talking about, bro. Did you set any deadlines when you start creating a game, when you plan to deliver? I tried to follow deadlines, but it never really worked out. Right now, I'm trying to improve the game as much as I can, without thinking too much about deadlines. I would love to have a working demo version by the end of the year, though. I'm actively working towards finishing a demo version there, where we have about 20, essentially not a real deadline, but a list of things I would like to have. Is it to-do list? There we go. So, go through, have 1 map, 20, 40 interesting enemies, not sure about this yet, stuff like that. But essentially what we are building right now is something that people told me to do. We had a cool discussion about it, actually. A game loop. I'm trying to build a game loop. Okay, let's get this weapon here. And keep this, mark this here, and then... Skeleton needs 40 armor instead of 50. There we go. Currently, I'm trying to build my game up so that I can have a game loop. Meaning, you go into a level, you try to beat the level, maybe you lose, maybe you win, and you come out of the level being able to improve your heroes, your town, and you can go back into the level to try it again and have like a nice little progression system using skill trees, using skill points, and later on, hopefully in the game, let me control K this so we can load. It's not finished yet, but essentially meta progression. which needs to be reworked. Spawn rate, maybe keep that, 20% more spawns, stuff like this. And yeah, I'm essentially just trying to build the game by playing it a lot. Uh-oh. Alright. Here you go. I think about loading the spreadsheets directly into the code. But I agree, it's probably too much work. Nah, we don't need that. We can keep the spreadsheet there. So, let's see. Rusty sword that gives us armor pierce. And then this guy will get... I mean, we could go for wind slash too. Alright, let's see. So 40 damage, 60 damage. Okay, let's see. How much damage do you do now to this guy? 1, and he should deal 24. Okay, and his ability does 6 damage, which is good. Yeah, so he can beat the skeletons. And I think I'm spawning the skeletons in a enough staggered way so that they don't overwhelm the player. Good. I'm happy. Very nice. And then we get the mage. And this is what I wanted to get to last time. I think this is awesome. We just found out a way to handle enemy armor. And now we get the mage. Let me move my camera or disable my camera here. Specializes in ranged combat using fire spells that deal magic damage which ignores armor. It's a little bit to read, but it's obvious what this guy does by looking at fire and magic damage. And maybe we can turn armor into gray too. We'll see. And then we have a new enemy. Hero. That I guess I'll put here. Knockback? Should we do knockback? Physical damage plus 10%. We need a third path to go for armor penetration or something here. Move the magic damage to a new line. I mean, we could. If you want to. Like this. Let me check. You like this more? The second line is tiny. I mean, yeah, we could work on this way more. It's better. Okay. Yeah, so now we have a second option to dealing with magic damage. And we don't like to place him here because of the tree. We cannot attack to the top. The tree is kind of cock blocking us. Which means we put him here. And that's a mechanic that I will introduce, I guess, from the very beginning. But I don't have that many trees. Or I keep the trees. We'll see. I think I like this. Okay, cool. Okay, so what do we get here? Now I think the next thing would be to focus on what stats actually make sense on the skill tree for these guys. As we continue on, what makes sense? Because I have already earned... How many skill trees? Level 3, 2 skill points. No camera finally. In Bloons you can remove obstacles, right? Yeah, there could be a way to remove obstacles too, yes. We'll have to see how we do that, but we can. I'm new to your channel. What is the inspiration for your game? Why oranges? Because I like soft cakes, and I called myself Swift Cakes a long time ago as my online presence. And Swift Cakes is inspired by oranges because soft cakes are made out of oranges, or there's part of it is oranges. Like almost nothing, essentially. I'm pretty sure there's not even an actual real orange in there. But there is an orange picture. Oranges picture. Oranges are portrayed on the package. And so that's why Swift Cakes came to be Cakes. And yeah, inspired by oranges. But I'm thinking of swapping them into humans. I don't know yet. I think they're too cute. That's the issue. You mean like Jaffa Cakes? Yeah, Jaffa Cakes are called. They're called Jaffa Cakes. And in Germany, they're called soft cakes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I think I will think about this a little bit more. Maybe off stream. Generic physical damage sucks. I don't like this. It's boring. Attack radius. Yeah, I mean, these are fine, but I think I want to have this a bit more interesting. Yeah. Too cute, bro, is the best part of the game. Yeah, maybe it is. It is. Like, it's all about relatability as well, though. Let's give him another sword. So they now deal damage to them. Awesome. Okay, let me check here. Let me think. Yeah, we did that. Guys, thank you very much for joining. I really appreciate the tremendous support, okay? There's many followers today and subscribers as well. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, you know? You're making this get closer to becoming a reality, hopefully in the future. With the released game, hopefully, you know, when people take my word more seriously than they do now, because I have not released the game yet. I know. You know, maybe we can also do some more gaming streams. I like that a lot. Rafi, thank you very much for being here, bro. And hey, Beeps, long time no see. Hope you're doing good, bro. Thank you very much for being here. Peace. Bye-bye.